Hello everyone, we're in my craft room today filming my December Daily 2016 album. This is the Ali Edwards kit album, and the main kit is what I used throughout this album that you'll see when I flick through. So it says December stories on the top, and a lot of companies sell December daily related products as December documented, I think, or December stories, depending on how you want to label it, but this is my version. I've stuck with the Ali Edwards style of flipping through. So I've embossed on the inside of my album here. I used a stamp that was an add-on separate to the kit itself, and I've used my Versamark, went straight through the stencil to see how it would work, and I could see a clear definition to the lines. And then I used my white embossing powder to emboss stars. Sorry, my husband's talking to me through my window. And then I've used an ephemera pack that I got from the Reject Shop, which is this Warm Wishes garland here. And I'll point out any extra stuff from that ephemera pack as well as I flick throughout. So this was a lady's idea. I cannot remember what her name is. If anyone can remember, feel free to comment at the bottom. But in part of Ali Edwards' kits is also that she does a Facebook group, and I'm pretty sure it's just called Ali Edwards December Daily. It's something very simple and easy to find, and you can just find it, join the group, and we all share our ideas. And this lady had done her foundation pages. This was one for her, I think, title page like this, and I loved it. I loved it. So I just used it, as you can see, put that in straight away, and I didn't even second guess that one. This is My Reasons Why. It is a 6x8 photo. I did this on the computer. I think it's a PDF or something similar. It's a free download through the Ali Edwards site. She had various different titles, like just Reasons Why, My Reasons Why, Our Reasons Why, with all different titles. And I wanted this to say My Reason Why, because this is me creating a December Daily album for my kids, for my family, for my husband to look through, and for all of us to just remember specific little memories and stories from that year that we otherwise might not remember. December is a month of sort of celebrating with our families and our friends and our traditions and our cultures, and we all do it in different ways, which is the best part about December Daily, I feel, because I look at everyone else's albums and I love mine just as much as I love someone else's, because they're so different. And it's good to get ideas of what we can do or things to remember to add in for each year. So each year does look slightly different. Even though you're taking photos every year of the Christmas tree, you might decorate it different. My kids are little, so as they grow, we're going to be putting more homemade embellishments and things like that, cookies and things that we make on our tree. So it's going to look different every year, no matter what, which is great. So that was me, My Reasons Why. I used the washi tape from the kit as well. These gold stars are from the ephemera pack. This is a full photo, 6x8 photo. I printed all my 6x8 photos at my local post office. I'm in Australia, and I'm about 30 minutes out of town. So it's hard for us to print photos and keep up with December Daily constantly. I have a Canon Selfie, which I print my 6x4 photos and my 3x4 photos on. So these big ones, I wait till I've got 3, pop down to my post office, which is actually only 5 minutes down the road. We have a post office and a general store, and I can print these and then they're done. This stamp is a digital stamp from Ali Edwards kit that you get for free with the main kit. And you can actually, because I don't have Photoshop, I upload my photo on PicMonkey. It's just picmonkey.com, and then you can add an overlay, and because I've already downloaded it to my computer, I select that as an overlay. This is day one. It isn't about a photo that I could capture or a story I could capture in a photo. It's about a December Daily group that got started in 2016 by Jackie Buck. We all were talking about in a thread about our Christmas cards, how some people make them, some people don't, and that not many people receive handmade Christmas cards anymore. It's just sort of a lost art, or it's something that people just don't have the time for. We're all so busy now. And this group was created so that we could exchange Christmas cards at Christmas, and you only were required to send 2, so you were definitely going to receive 2, but then everyone else sent, you know, more or less depending on what they were capable of doing. So that was my day 1 story because I thought that was perfect. It was a new story. I usually put my Christmas tree there, but I wanted to change it up. This is a summary page of our family at the time. So a picture of the fam, and in future years I'm not going to remember, but I'm pretty sure this was not taken in December. I think it was taken in November when we did go to the beach because it's summer here in the southern hemisphere. So that was sort of more or less something that we do around this Christmas period in time. We don't live close to the beach. We live, I think it's an hour and a half to 2 hours depending on traffic to our closest beach. And we make a big day of it. We make a big celebration. So that was the boys, what they look like, what we look like. The 4 Christmas trees, because there's 4 of us. These pieces are all from the kit. That was a tag that I've cut the bottom off and then used a 2x2 punch. Paper, pretty sure from the Ali Edwards kit. This paper wasn't, it was from an ephemera pack, and so with these 2. These were stamps that I embossed in red embossing powder. I think I just wanted to test out how the stamps would go with the embossing powder that I had, because I've got some thick and some thin. And I left it blank on the other side. My cousin turned 15, Piper, and this was a photo that she had put, or a collage photo, she'd put on her Instagram or her Facebook. And her birthday is actually in November, but we celebrate with her when we could see her next. So that just so happened to be on the 3rd, which I'm pretty sure that was over the weekend, a Saturday or a Sunday. So that was my day 3, and I just put cardstock on the back of that photo to sort of reinforce it. I've got the P for Piper, and I embossed that. Now that was a red P from 2015 that I may have bought through a Facebook craft group. Someone had sold like extra pieces from an old kit, and I got that. And then I used the 5 things card, not to be in relation to Christmas, but to be in relation to my story. So 5 things about Piper. And that was the beauty of this year, is that I've seen our December daily stories then don't have to be specifically for a Christmas event. So going through there, and day 4 I used the numbers that came with this kit, and I just painted them all halfway, so you can see that mine reoccurring numbers will be white with the gold at the bottom. I did a fold out page, which I will show you now. So this is my Christmas tree. I usually put this on day 1 or 2, but I wanted to do something different, so I have a fold out piece. I'm not sure how the glare is, but I did get quite dark photos because I wanted to get the twinkle lights in them. We do 2 trees, so this was my story with the 5. I printed my story on vellum and then put that on layered cardstock, and then just your reinforcers on the side there. This is quite a thick piece of card, and I haven't decorated this, and I won't. And that's my second tree, my green one there. I may use this sort of fold out type of insert, but I don't think I would use such a thick cardstock, but it was my first try at that, so I'm happy. I use photos loosely as well, so that's the story for 6, which is making jam. It was something that first time I'd done. We were in a new home, and this was the first summer, so it was our first strawberry patch that was successful, and yes, so I made that. Mail, I do make cards for family and friends, so that was me sending my cards out. I do that every year, try and do it early. So that was my 7 story. And then I've used some leftover acetate pieces I've got there. And I tried to do scrapbook layouts. This is one of the tips I got. I did the Ali Edwards course, and I wanted to keep an actual layout, so that's number 8. 9, I used my work function Christmas party. I work in retail, I work at a shoe store. So our biggest time of the year is from December through to the end of January. In that time we make the most amount of money in the year than any other period. So we have Christmas lunch or dinner, depending on when we're organising it, for early in the month. So that was me going out to dinner, all prettied up with my makeup and hair done. I made my own filler card on this. This wasn't something that was given to us. The holiday love is, and then the backing pieces, but these are ephemera from this ephemera pack that I purchased. So is this one that says time of the year, and then just a table shot of us. We had a lovely 3-course meal, all of us there. And this was earlier in the day, so this is an extension of the same story. So as you can see, I've done 1-sided, 2-sided and 3-sided stories. For the little 2x2 pockets, I always run out of ideas. So movies or Hallmark movies, Christmas themed movies is always something that I will put in. As you can see, I've forgotten to put those. I think I was printing them as I went. I use my Project Life app. So I print a 6x4 photo and it has 3 photos along the top and 3 on the bottom. And then I just cut them in to fit into this, and I will look up the movie, say Santa Claus, on Google, find the film poster, and then just do like a screenshot if I can't save the photo itself, and just save it onto my phone, and then I can upload it into that app. So that's the way I would do these. And on the back I wanted to do music this year, and I got as far as doing Bublé. And I love Michael Bublé. He is amazing, and his Christmas CD is just always on rotation here. Everyone, I think, was mocking it last year that, you know, it's Christmas when Michael Bublé's Christmas album comes out. Mind you won't listen to him any time of the year, but that's not true. I listen to Michael Bublé throughout the year, so that's fine. I do not know whether I'll fill this either. So 10, and I use my 3x8 insert. I loved these inserts. I'm going to get some more this year. This was at Christmas carols. We went to carols at the lake. We went early in the afternoon, invited both sets of grandparents. That's photos with 1 and 2 sets. This is both the cardstock and the ephemera piece from Ali's kit. I used a full insert page for the program, so you can look back at that and know what was happening. As it was getting dark, and then I've just used a filler card and then told the story on this one. Day 11, or story 11, sorry, was more about the day. We went to IKEA. Our IKEA isn't close to us. Again, it's an hour and a half. It's Canberra. So the top 10 or 10 things I used for this is another story about the 10 things we bought. I was finding it hard to find lists that either fit the 10 or the 5 that was listed. This one is a story about food donations. My husband works for the Rural Fire Service here in Australia, in New South Wales. And they had a little competition going between the New South Wales Police, New South Wales Ambulance Service and the Rural Fire Service to see who could fill up a helicopter with the most non-perishable food donations for a food drive for those in need around the Christmas time. And the RFS won, which was awesome. And these are my donations. I put it up on Facebook, on social media. I made a point of saying that if anybody was looking for somewhere that they'd like to donate to, it's a good cause, and just put up the details where they could drop it off. So that was more or less me just passing on information from my husband through me to our friends and family. And that was all the donations that they got and how it was all stacked up and then loaded. In the end, the RFS could fill 3 helicopters, so it was amazing. And then I've used the 4 Christmas trees again. I just loved that. And this is my eldest son. He fell asleep, and we just made his teepee in his room from scrap material I had, and then used the same material to decorate his room on the other side. And it was summer, it was hot, and this is how he always fell asleep. Under the teepee with his fish, because he loves his fish. He uses it as a pillow. And that was that story. Christmas hats. My husband always gets a new Christmas hat, like a silly hat, every year for Christmas and wears it out. So there's that. I went to Aladdin with my mum. It was her birthday in August. I bought the tickets, but the show wasn't on yet, so we both had heard really great reviews. And that's where I said, well, I'll get you the tickets, and we ended up booking them for December, just for when we were free. So that was just a happy coincidence, and she let me keep the tickets for that. So I've used my 3x4 with my little program inset there. These are photos saved from their website, and I've used a little shaker pocket in there. And then on this side it was what Daddy did that day, because whilst I was out with my mum, Dad had the boys. So they went and Flinny got a haircut, Dad got a haircut. They were baking, doing some Christmas baking. I did put this photo in upside down. I don't care. I used my fuse tool, so it was stuck in. And then I've used my journaling card there, and then just chopped that one down. I think it's like a 4x4 size there. This was another idea I got from somebody else on the Facebook group. It was a receipt, Christmas receipt from a big shop, and the idea was that you can still look back in 10 years time and say, oh, loaf of bread cost this much, or milk cost this much, and oh wow, we spent so much on Christmas that year. And yeah, you can just have a look at it. Now I had another 2x2 inserted here to fill, and I've obviously not got an idea for that, so that'll come out and go into my next album for 2017. I still have to print 2 6x8s, and that is for my next story, which is my gingerbread house, and that's where I'm going. So we make a gingerbread house, which you can see here. My husband's pretending to eat it. This was the first year it was stable and it all stuck together. I got the frosting just perfect so that it would stick and everything would stay up. We don't get as far as decorating it overly because everyone eats it. My boys and my husband love it. Coffee cup sleeves were the rage in 2016. I don't know what it was, but we all went nuts. I used a tag, just a manila tag, and I embossed on it, used some of my stuff from my kit, stamped the reason why, and then put mine. Now, in America, it was all about the Starbucks Reds cups because they released, I don't know how many, it was almost 20 different designs. But in Australia, we have Michelle's, and they did, I think, 2 or 3 different designs as well, and I used mine from there. I was looking at all the different ones I could get in my area, and I used that. But be warned, these are really thick. Like, obviously, this is a folded cup, so it's quite thick. So if you're thinking of using something like this, maybe cut it, lay it flat and then cut it in half so you're only using one side. And my Santa photo for 18. This was our 3rd Christmas Santa photo. My son Flynn, he was born in September, so when he was 3 months he got a Santa photo, so this was his 3rd one. And Reed's in the background. Now, me and my husband do end up in these because our kids, we didn't know how they'd go, so I made sure he was with us just in case they started to cry with Santa and they didn't want to sit with Santa. Then at least all of us are in, and it's a family photo at Christmas time. It's not then like, oh, Mum had to jump in quickly with the kids and then Dad has to miss out and then the memories without him. I don't think that's fair. And then on the way back, we looked at the RFS helicopter at the airport, and the boys loved it. And this one's about me being crafty, Christmas crafts, what I was getting up to. And then I've got a little tag popped in there with some journaling as well. And they were the tags that came with the kit. This card, this filler card, was not part of Ali's kit. It was an extra I bought. This one's a little bit plainer, day 20. Sort of a slow day. It was hot. We didn't do much. We went to the park and played on the swings. The boys are in the swing. And then we went for a drive to view all the Christmas lights. And because it's summer, we don't have snow. We tend to substitute Christmas lights, decorating our houses with Christmas lights. And this street was amazing. It was completely done up. And we do it every year. I've always done it from when I was little. And my husband did it most of his childhood into adulthood, but I've sort of encouraged him to keep doing it regardless of whether we had kids and things as well, so we've always done it. Another crafty post for day 21. So the mail arrives and it's all decorated, and these are the stamps, so the cost of stamps, weather, And then it's just a little recap. Our friends, someone I've known for well over 15 years. I grew up with her, Rebecca. She had her baby on the 21st, but we got to see him on the 22nd, which was just lovely because we knew he was going to be a Christmas baby or a New Year's baby, so it was just lovely that they still said to come visit them in the hospital. This is Declan. This was another idea I saw, I think, on Pinterest. It's everyone's thumbprint. I put everyone's thumb on an ink pad and then printed it. And then I've just done little reindeer antlers and nose and eyes, and I've put our initials on top, so Dad, Mum, Flynn and Reed. And that's our family in 2016. Then, in 10 years' time, when I'm still doing my December daily kits, we'll do the exact same thing and everyone will have massive thumbs. So it'll be awesome. That was day 23. My brother was 19 in 2016, and 19-year-old boys hate photos. They just do not take photos. Teenage boys. They don't like it. So I got a photo of us sitting on the couch, their feet up, watching movies together. I'm pretty sure we did. I made him watch a Christmas movie. And he drove to me. He lives about 45 minutes away. And he was bored. And he said, you know what? I'm going to go visit my big sister. And I'm going to go hang out with her all day. And we're not going to do much. And it's not going to matter. And I love it. I was just thankful that he's like that and he did that. Here's a snap photo flip page here. And as you can see, it was us. But on the 24th, this isn't everywhere in Australia, but for New South Wales, the RFS allows the members to go out on Christmas Eve and have a Santa in the back of the fire truck, and they go really slow down the streets. And sometimes they have bags of lollies and they give them to all the kids, and Santa gives a hug. And this was the second Christmas here, or was it the first? I can't remember when we moved in. I think it might have been the first Christmas here. So it was the first time with this Rural Fire Brigade. Where we used to live, they always used to do it. And we grew up in the same place, and this is only the second place we've lived in our lives. So this was the second brigade that did it. But you see them posted everywhere on Facebook and social media, and they usually send out messages or leaflet drops to say that they're going to do it, so all the kids and everyone in the neighbourhood knows, which is great. So that was my big 24. I've got one more sleep, and then I've got the North Pole. Now this I think was an old one I got from someone who didn't want to use it. Now I've left it blank, and I'm going to print off a very small picture there, and it's the Weather Zone app. They do a North Pole, I think it must be in the days leading up to Christmas, and you can search it and add it to your locations. And I screenshot it, and it said something like, minus 30 or minus 50 degrees Celsius at the North Pole at this time on New Year's night. So I put that on, I'm going to stick that on there. I've used the 25th, so it's Christmas. And these photos are a bit blurry, but that was just my phone. I had an older phone. I think it was like an iPhone 4 at the time, but I wanted them printed and done, so I didn't care about the quality. I was just printing photos for everyone. And then I've got 2x2 photos so that I can add more, and all the photos I got, the boys and the kids and the food. I wanted to add the food in. So it's Christmas Day, but Boxing Day my family meets up and we do a big do. So that was us at my mum's house. That was our selfie for the day. I assume I have 2 photos to go there. I will have to check back on that. These are the presents my boys got. So they got a mini trampoline with netting and a John Deere tractor, pedal tractor, which was awesome. And then a shell pool, which my brother is laying with my son Flynn in. And I've used a little flip one. So this is the best idea when you come in closer to having do's or shindigs or gatherings, for everyone who's not Australian and doesn't understand my expressions. But flip pockets are the best if you've got a big occasion and you want to scrap it, especially in the project life style. So there's that one. These were photos I took during the day, and I put them through a filter on either Instagram or Facebook. And these 2 cutouts, I couldn't get to suit anywhere, but they actually go really well with these colours. So I'm just going to stick them in there. I've just slid them in, but I'm just going to stick them flat so they're straight and in the center. Another scrapbooked layout, and I again just printed on vellum so I could put it on top of this. And I know a lot of people have sort of used digital. They've done it digitally, sort of a similar layout as well. But I really like the actual physical paper, so that's what I wanted to do with that one. I've gone to the 31st because we do have Christmas occasions past the 25th. On the 28th we went to the pool because it is summer, and my boys got tuckered out. Now these photos were pretty poor quality, and I forgot to take photos at the pool with them in the cute swimmers, so these were afterthoughts, but it turned out really well. I used the black and white paper, black and white, and added the gold bits. For embellishment, 29th, we got sick of being at home because we don't have air conditioning, so we went to our RSL and had a lovely lunch and just documenting Dad playing with the boys. And then these feet selfie photos, like where we've been and what we've done, was so popular as well at the time. And in this one, all I did was popped the letter in and used the washi tape to seal it, which I like. I'm going to use that more often too. And then on the 30th, I got my husband to write on a 6x4 card his thoughts and on Christmas, on celebrating Christmas with us and as a family, and also his thoughts on December Daily and documenting all our time together, which was nice. I'm definitely going to get him to do this again. I may not leave it towards the end, but more or less in this year, because I'd done so much planning to just have little activities every day with the boys and keep ourselves all, because I am a stay-at-home mum and I do work occasionally casually on the weekends, so we couldn't do so much some weekends, especially with work, but I predominantly am home Monday to Friday with my boys, so I may add his thoughts earlier in like the reasons why or something like that, closer to that this year. But because I was having my reasons for doing this album, his came sort of more towards the end as a summary. And then that's where this flicks over then to say, well, Mum's Christmas straight away turns into her work back to school, and we get so busy, and I was on this day and I had to set up so much stuff at work. I was run off my feet, and even though it's still Christmas time and everyone's still celebrating, I'm busy. And I left that blank because that was the 31st. I just want to leave it like that. I've still got my remember pocket in here. I don't have any ephemera in it at the minute, but I will. I'm sure I have stuff to just stick in there to remember. I can even put some of my Christmas cards that I've got in there as well. So that is my 2016 December Daily album. I really hope you liked the flick through and you enjoyed it. If you did and you'd like to see my 2015 album flick through, I have not filmed it yet, but I was thinking maybe I'd do that. Leave me a comment below to let me know if you do want to see it, and pop a thumbs up if you did like it, just to let me know if I should be making more of these album flip through videos. Thanks for watching. Bye.